Alright guys, in this video I wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about the June State of Play that just went down, and I wanted to do a bit of a review on it because it seems like this State of Play surprised quite a few people, myself included, and the reason for this is because what we just saw is potentially the best State of Play that Sony's ever done that hasn't focused on a single game. Normally when people go into these State of Plays, they are feeling very hesitant to get their expectations high or to expect anything of significance because, to be fair, in the past, when it comes to these State of Plays, Sony has been, I don't want to say inconsistent because that's not the right word. In fact, they have been consistent, but they've been consistent at kind of just focusing on smaller stuff, on really kind of disappointing anybody who goes into a State of Play thinking they're going to get some significant announcements. They've been consistent at disappointing those people in particular. And I remember I used to get really excited for State of Plays, and over time, my excitement levels for them just kind of, kept dropping lower and lower. And what's kind of ironic is this State of Play, I think I went in with my lowest expectations ever, but it's interesting the way it works out because it turns out that this State of Play was actually the best one, in my opinion. We look at some of the reveals that came out of nowhere. I mean, I was shocked to see, just like probably everybody else, that Resident Evil 4 Remake was the first thing that Sony opened the State of Play with. And not only that, they opened it by revealing the release date, that being March 24th, and the trailer was way longer than I thought it would be. I thought that if Resident Evil 4 Remake were to have any chance of showing up at the State of Play, it would be just a very short 30-second teaser, nothing more than that, but it was actually a 2-minute trailer that gave us a really solid look at the game, gives us an idea of how they overhauled the atmosphere and the graphics, obviously, and I was just blown away by this because this is a game I'm very, very excited about. I mean, one of my most anticipated games, and to just kind of get that thrown at you all at one time when you just didn't expect it, definitely awesome. But they stayed consistent all throughout this show. They followed this up with a bunch of VR announcements. Resident Evil Village is going to be compatible with PlayStation VR2. They revealed The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Retribution, No Man's Sky, Horizon Call of the Mountain. They also announced a big update for Horizon Forbidden West. They also announced that Spider-Man Remastered is coming to PC this August. It's worth noting they didn't have a trailer for this, nor did they say anything about it during the State of Play, but Spider-Man Miles Morales is also set to hit PC later this year. So yeah, the Spider-Man games are now going to PC. They talked about Stray. They gave a release date of, I believe, July 19th. And they also let us know that Stray will be part of PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, which I think is definitely surprising because nobody was anticipating that. But this is something that we can expect to see more often now with Sony's new PlayStation Plus offering. And then after that, they showed the first trailer of the Callisto Protocol, which looks amazing in my opinion. This is a game I'm really excited about. It pretty much looks like a spiritual successor to Dead Space, and I really was excited to see that. On top of that, we got Roller Dome, which actually looks pretty good. Eternites, not sure how I feel about that name. And then they showed off a 3-minute trailer for Street Fighter 6, which people were very impressed with. And then they revealed that Tunic is going to be making its way to PlayStation. They showed more of Season, A Letter to the Future. And then they closed the show with Final Fantasy XVI, a 3-minute trailer that I think blew people away. And they announced a release window. They're shooting for summer of 2023. So I think that's a little bit later than what some people were thinking, because we really started to get this idea that maybe somehow, some way, Final Fantasy XVI can be ready to go this year. But clearly that's not going to be the case. But still, summer 2023 sounds like a solid release date for Final Fantasy XVI. And so all in all, this is everything that Sony revealed and talked about within the 30 minutes of this State of Play. And again, considering this is not a showcase, we are getting some announcements here that are absolutely showcase caliber or would be worthy to be in a showcase. We're getting them during a State of Play. And when you stack this state of play up against and compare it to previous state of plays, this I think is easily an A+, and in my opinion, I think this is the best state of play that Sony's ever done. Maybe there's one they did in the past that I'm kind of forgetting. I mean, there were times where Sony had a few exciting reveals here and there, but this was just consistent from top to bottom, from start to finish. And I guess to me, it's just really good to see this because I've been waiting for Sony to kind of change the narrative surrounding state of play for some time. The narrative surrounding state of play has not really been a very good one. A lot of people have a very negative, pessimistic outlook. Again, I think some of it is actually justified, but I've been kind of wondering if Sony was ever planning on kind of changing that. And, to me, this is a clear sign that they're changing that narrative. And this is the first proper, I guess you could say, like, show that kicks off the summer shows and announcements that we're going to be getting. And so I think Sony did a really good job. At this point in time, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. I think there's a really good chance they show up at Summer Game Fest. I'm sure we'll be talking more about that as we get closer to it. People are wondering, where was God of War? How come Sony didn't really have much of a first-party presence here? Well, it just goes to show that Sony doesn't need to necessarily name-drop PlayStation Studios in order to make them a part of the show. I mean, we got updates from Guerrilla Games, from Firesprite, and from Insomniac. And again, like, considering we were expecting nothing from PlayStation Studios, that can just kind of show up, I guess, randomly. But when it comes to getting stuff for like God of War and like brand new game announcements, I think that's going to be coming. I think God of War will probably be at Summer Game Fest, and I think that proper announcements and reveals of new first-party games and exclusives will be happening likely in September, and I could see us getting a God of War Ragnarok state of play in between that. So yeah, that's pretty much my short review of this state of play. I wanted to do this because I know not everybody wants to watch the stream. I think I streamed for about an hour and a half, so just to kind of condense everything and give my thoughts here in a shorter, more easily digestible video. But yeah, leave your thoughts down below. What did you think of this state of play? Let me know what was your favorite announcement. What was the most surprising announcement? Leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.